Hey strong people, Kalle Beck here from StartingStrongman.com. Day 2, World's Strongest Man results and recap, fan fiction. Yesterday saw the athletes doing the loading race and either the squat or the deadlift, depending on their group. Today, groups did Finkel's finger train push. It was supposed to be a train pull, but more on that later. 1, 4, and 5 did the Finkel fingers. Groups 2 and 3 got a train pull, which turned into a train push, because strongman means expect the unexpected and be able to roll with things. Promoters and athletes alike. So on to the results. In Group 1, nothing surprising here. Brian Shaw obliterated the Finkel fingers. By far, probably, those two words don't go together, right? By far the best at Finkel fingers in modern strongman now, especially at Worlds. He was the only one to do all 5 in his group, and he has a pretty commanding lead with 2 events left in the qualifiers. He has 13.5 points. Ivar's Smoke Stellis got 4 in 31.38 seconds for 4 points with 9.5 points. And Maxime got 4 in 41.07 for 4th place in the event, getting him 2 points. And Travis, the veteran, not that surprising, did 4 in 31.75, just off of Ivar's time. That almost for 2nd place, picking up 3 big points for Travis Ortmeyer. No one wants to go on a stone off against crazy old Travis, do they? No one. He'll go talk about intensity. But good events for Maxime coming up with the overhead medley. Don't think dumbbells are his best. I'm not sure on exactly what the overhead medley is. If there's 2 dumbbells, then a barbell, then an axle, or what, it really depends how people do. But based on it just being with dumbbells, I really do think Brian's going to win that event. And I think he'd want to do that just to be in a comfortable position in the front hold and also going last, that he's not having to put in a great performance on such an unusual, untested event. It's by far the hardest event to test, and that is tomorrow. It's the hardest to predict. We just don't see it that often anymore, and each implement's different, and judging can be weird on those, so we will see. But yeah, after day 2, Brian Shaw picks up a big lead, 13.5 points, 3.5 points over Maxime Boudreau with 10. Ivar's just behind him with 9.5. Travis nipping at the heels of second and third with 7, and Gavin Bilton with 5. Gavin did 4 in 46.62, so he got 4 over, just not as fast as the other 3 in his group. Then we go on to Group 2, which had a train push, and this had a little bit more spread. It wasn't as predictable. I don't know how different things would have been with a pull, but with a push, it looks like being big helps, and big Johnny Hansen did it in 35.86 for 1st place, coming alive. And here he's good at overhead medley and front hold, so maybe he'll come on strong in the second half of his group. He has 8 points on the day after that. Trey Mitchell also picked up big points, going at 36.31 for 4 points. Then we have Tom Stoltman with 37.83. Then Evan Singleton, 39.73, and Mark Felix dropped a lot, had a very strong day 1. Train push, one of the lighter guys, probably the lightest guy in this group, did not help him, 42.58. So after day 2, Tom Stoltman with a good lead, 12 points. Looks like he's in a strong position with Trey Mitchell and Mark Felix with 9 apiece, Johnny Hansen with 8, and Evan Singleton with 7 points. So Evan's going to have to come on real strong. And, I mean, overhead, it's probably not the best event for Mark. Here, from what I see, Johnny Hansen's good at it. Tom will do well. Trey is a good presser. Just has to be fast between the implements. But yeah, I think I think we're looking at a pretty good position if Trey stays in top 3, that he ends up in a stone off and wins it. Him against Mark would be brutal. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But I think Johnny Hansen might come on strong. But I think Tom Stoltman's looking good to win the group. But as we can see, anything can happen. It just all changes, and we saw events change. So on the train push, I guess they had a caboose and a train car, and like something was jammed on the wheels on the train car. Johnny Hansen was the first to go, and it was stuck. So it's actually really cool that he ends up winning that event. They couldn't get it unstuck from what I hear, and I guess trains are weird, and sometimes they mess up. So he ends up winning that event, and they had to switch it to a push because if they just did a pull, it would have been too light because it's just the caboose. And looking at these times, they're all fairly close, so it probably was somewhat light, but no one's doing it in like 20 seconds. It's just everyone's pretty evenly matched. Group 3, Ithor Melstead wins that event. Big points for him. Robert Oberst gets big points getting in second, and JF Cron third. So JF Cron's lead is cut to 2 points, and Ithor moves up to second place in Group 3. Mikhail Shivlikov gets 2 points. Last in that, of course, Luke Richardson has withdrawn from the contest due to a torn bicep in the first event. Wish him a speedy recovery. So after day 2 and 3 events, we're looking like JF Cron 12 points, Ithor 10, Robert Oberst 9, Mikhail Shivlikov 9. So it's gonna overhead medley. JF could lose some more. It's possible. Front hold, I don't know. I think JF might be good at that. Ithor is pretty good presser. He has fairly short arms. Oberst is a good presser, but I'd say if it's dumbbells, it's not to his advantage, just how quickly he moves in between things. Mikhail can be pretty good at dumbbells. Sometimes he has tricep problems. But looking at this, I'm going to think JF still wins the group, and it'll be Ithor versus Oberst in the stone off. That's my predictions for tomorrow. Tomorrow they're doing overhead medley, front hold, and stone off. Second and third do stones, and whoever wins goes to the finals. Doesn't matter if second place has like 30 points and third has 10, which is impossible mathematically, but they would go into the stone off. Group 4 had Fingal Fingers, and also Chris Van Deerland had to retire from the contest. Not sure why. Terry Hollins withdrew after his deadlift performance. He tore a bicep in the loading race, still deadlifted, had to get like water poured on him afterwards, but still put in a solid performance in the deadlift, and has officially retired from World's Strongest Man. I would think that he would still do some Giants Lives and stuff, but I think this was Terry's 15th year at Worlds, and good to see him go out on 2 good event performances. Wish he could have finished the thing, but an absolute legend in the sport, and wish him all the best, and thanks for the countless years of entertaining us World's Strongest Man fans. He has an announcement on his Instagram. So, yeah, Group 4 is down to 3 people. We have, and in the fingers, Jerry Pritchett did 4 and 41.19 for first place, giving him 10 after 3 events. Then Konstantin Janashia got second, doing 3 and 26.48. Just behind him, Adam Bishop, 3 and 27.21. And since there's 3 people, it's like these 3 are all going to have a chance at the finals no matter what. And it's kind of like, I think it would really help if they went back to 6 people in the groups, because if you have an injury, then there's 4 people, then you have a stone off, so second and third are automatically going against each other. Then it's like, if you're in third, you pretty much just need to hold on to third place. Like, it's not that important to get second. Either, which I like better, get rid of the stone off and first and second just go through like normal, or you have to have more competitors per group. Because when people get hurt, now you have 3 people here in group 4, and it's like Konstantin Janashia has 13, then 10 and 9, unless, Jerry or Adam overtake Konstantin and he has a terrible performance in the overhead medley with dumbbells, which he didn't look great at Bahrain. It's like, we already kind of know how this is all going to shake out, pretty much. Not making the best television, as far as I can tell. Anyways, on to Group 5. I said this is the group of death beforehand. That's just an absolute brutal group, and it's living up to it. I mean, Novikov was in 4th place after day 1, and everyone's like, is he out? Oh no, what's he doing? They stacked the group. Group 5 looks like a finals. And he is the defending champion, so he should be fine, but it's also 2 events. 2 out of 5. And Novikov came through and delivered, getting 4 fingers over in 28.44, just ahead of Luke Stoltman, who did it 4 in 28.92. Then Kevin Ferris and Bobby Thompson were right at each other, too. I mean, this is such a competitive group. Group 5 should be its own television show. Do not cut out one event. This is so competitive. I can't wait to watch in 2 weeks when it airs on CBS. So then it was Bobby Thompson just edging out Kevin Ferris, 4 in 36.25 to 4 in 36.31, and Irvin Toots did 3 in 29.44. So Alexei Novikov comes back big with an event win, just edging Luke Stoltman. Like, they're pushing their fingers down at the same time. And after, going into the last day of the qualifiers with 2 more events left, we have Bobby Thompson and Luke Stoltman with 11 points apiece, then Kevin Ferris and Alexei Novikov with 10 apiece, and Irvin Toots with 3. So, like, you have 11, 11, 10, and 10. That's basically tied. And then we have the overhead medley and the front hold, and I have no idea what's going to happen. All 4 of these athletes are finals level athletes. They're all capable of being in the top 5 in the finals, I would say. And 2 of them are going to go home. And that's going to suck. So I think the group was seeded a little heavy. Looks like they're trying to give Novikov a tough road or something. I don't know. Luke kind of always seems like he's kind of put in a bad situation, but he's rising to the challenge. So who's going to end up winning the group? I mean, the front hold's such a weird event. I don't know. I think the overhead medley, Bobby's a beast on. Novikov is so fast at dumbbells and moving in between events. And also to note, Jerry Pritchett had said that he has some hip issues and stuff on his deadlift, but he's still fighting forward. Jerry's so tough. That's in Group 4. But Group 5, I don't know. It's just unfortunate that some of those athletes are going to put on a great performance and not make the finals. Let's hope for a good injury-free final day to the heats. We're going to be doing the overhead medley, the front hold, and then 2 and 3 in each group are going to be doing a stone off. Whoever gets first in each group advances straight to the finals. Stay tuned for what happens on day 3. Thanks for watching.